Hello everybody and welcome to my little shop. Today we're going to be building this nice little stand-up bench for planters. As you know, if some of you follow Heather's channel, she likes to do a lot of gardening and planting, and she bought these big cloth pots. Now to keep them off the ground, I decided to build this nice little bench set. Now the dimensions are about 8 foot long, and it's actually 10 inches off the ground and about 13 inches wide. Just a little over a foot. And this is all box store lumber, so it's very cheap and very easy to make. And if you follow this video, I will show you how to make it. Okay, so I'll show you how to mark it up. First of all, you actually need to purchase about all it's going to take is about 4 pieces of lumber. Okay, this is a standard 2x4. I got 4 pieces right here, and because when I make the bases, I need just under 10 feet of lumber just for 3 bases, like I'm going to show you how to make it. I just picked up this little scrap out of the scrap pile, and box stores always have that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut 6 6-inch pieces, and this is obviously we're going to measure our 6 inches, and obviously you're going to need a pencil marking tool or tape measure, and a straight edge or a square. Okay. So we're going to take it and we're going to mark it up. And we're going to do this 6 times. So now, to remember on which side you're going to cut, you usually add a little mark like so. So I know that I'm going to cut on this side of the line, so all my pieces are going to be exactly even. Okay, so we cut all our pieces. So in total we have 6 6-inch pieces. This is going to be our base, our post. Then we have 13.5-inch pieces, 3 pieces, that's going to be our top, that's where all the board's going to lay on. And obviously the bottom cross section are 10.5-inch pieces. So as you see, I got everything ready and all set to go from the wood wise. Now, you can use 2 types of methods. You can use nails to nail this together, or you can use screws. And it's recommended to actually pre-drill while you screw it in, because it is kiln dried wood and it does have a tendency to crack. So to prevent from any type of cracking, when you use wood screws, I would recommend using 2.5-inch screws for this type of project. Pre-drill them. And obviously we're going to get a little handy dandy toolkit, and we're going to be using a sinker bit drill bit. So, and it's just a basically simple conical type of bit and it also does a countersink. Great thing to have. And you can pick up any lumber store or hardware store for dirt cheap. So now we're going to get all our tools ready and all set, and we're going to start assembling. So, and also, if you are going to be using nails, it's a good idea to flip it and actually tap it and dull the point of the nail. It will also prevent the wood from cracking. That's one of the old tricks I was taught. Okay, so we're gonna get all our bits and everything goes there. Okay. So, and this is how we're going to assemble it. So we take 2 posts. Okay, that's our 6-inch pieces. We'll take the longest ones, 13.5-inch pieces. We'll put it down, and we'll try to make it flush so it's nice and even on both sides. So when our face nice and flush, and the sides nice and flush too. And you can do exactly the same thing on the other side. Now also be very careful. The wood does twist and turn, and you just have to mention you want that twist to go a little bit inside, plus it gives more of a pleasant look. Okay? So we've got our wood ready. We're going to grab our screws and we're going to start drilling. So first what we're going to do is I'm looking, and I want to actually drill it right in the middle of the wood. So I just eyeball it, and usually just make a mark about it 1 inch away from each and every edge. So in case if something happens, it doesn't crack. So we sink it. Each side. Okay. And we're going to get our screws. Oh, there they are. This is what I'll be using. These are actually regular construction screws. And obviously we need quite a few of them. So you want to, for screws, you want to put 2 screws in, and for nails, you also can put 2 or 3 nails in, just to prevent from it twisting and turning. Okay, so I'm going to get our things situated over here. There we go. So first things first, take our screw. Make sure we're nice and even. Alright. Now, and we do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now what we did was we screwed it and we made a nice little step like this. Now obviously the last 10.5-inch piece is going to go inside like so. Alright, so here we go. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure it's nice even and flush on both sides. We're going to hold it and we're going to pre-drill it. And it's a good idea sometimes to just put first 1 screw in, so and sometimes wood does twist out of you, so if you have 1 single screw in, you always can put it right back in and adjust it as you need to make it nice and flush. Okay. Alright, so we get this side going too. Okay. And remember, you want to keep the screws just slightly under the wood. You don't want to sink them all the way down because that will crack the wood regardless if you pre-drill it or not. So right here we have a little bit of a twist in order to fix that, you can actually pop the screws out so there's a little bit of play in here. Okay, and now, just keep it on here. Now the wood is easily to move. You can easily move it to its place, so it's actually going to hold it right here, and we're going to do a quick pre-drill. Okay, and we're going to put a screw in. I'm going to put just 1 screw in on this side. Okay, and we're going to tighten these screws up. So that 1 screw actually locked the piece of wood in its place. So now we don't have to worry about fighting the wood and readjusting it. We can screw just this one in. Alright, and now this is what we got. So this is going to be our top. This is going to be our bottom. And now we just got to build 3 more. Okay, so we got our 3 bases in. Now we're going to actually put the top together. We got our last 3 boards, right? And when you do buy the boards, when you go to the box store, it's a good idea to first actually to inspect the board. Make sure there's not a crazy twist or bow in it turning. So once you assemble it, the board is fairly flat. And when you don't have any major knots or rips out of these boards. And just be mindful when you shop for wood and you're looking at the wood, just put it back and don't toss it, because the next will be a lot easier for the next person. Okay, so now we're going to get our 3 boards together, and obviously we're going to put a nice side because sometimes they do have a rough cut, so we're trying to prevent that. So we're just going to put them up here, okay. Alright, and it's okay if you got little markings here and there. If you want to put some paint on it, that would make it look really nice. Okay, and so we're just making sure all the nice smooth sides are up. Now, it is a good idea to leave a little cut off pieces once you're doing this, because this you actually can use as a spacer. So you're going to space them out nice and evenly. And I usually use the thickness of the wood itself, which is about 1.5 inches on average. Now what we're going to do here, we're actually going to mark it up a foot from each end and in the middle, which is at this point, because these are 8-foot boards, it's going to be 48 inches. So we're going to take a mark right here, right? We're going to put one little mark over here on this side, so we're going to turn it this way, right? We're going to transfer this mark right here. Then we're going to mark it up at 48 inches, right? Now this is going to be center line. For the center piece, it's going to be center line. And we're going to mark a foot on this end as well, right? So we're going to take it and mark it up like so. And we'll just strike a line. So we're going to have one line going this way, one line going this way. Okay. And there's our center line here. Our center line right here. Now, these boards are an average of 3.5 inches. So for the center line, you want to mark it up at 1 inch and 3/4, and usually that will give you a good center point. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to match our center line here. We're going to match our line to an outside of the base, like so. So we're just going to move this wood. And at this point, it would be a good idea to have a square. So you want to set it up. I'm just going to move this out of the way so you guys can see better. So you want to set it up. Make sure it's not crooked in any other way. So you can use a straight edge. Set it up straight right against the line, and you can actually push it. So you're flush and square in this end, and you square this way. So once you start assembling, nothing's going to go crooked. So that's always a good idea. So this one is set up. So we're going to take our screwdrivers and screws. So at this point, and again, and just like when you're screwing the base, you want to keep it somewhat center line. And I usually keep it about, half an inch to 3/4 inch from the edge when I pre-drill it. And I usually try to keep it in a nice straight line. So here we go. Make sure we're nice and square. Right here. And we'll just screw it in. Okay, you don't want to screw it in all the way, because when you're going to start torquing and tightening down, the board might start twisting on you, the base. So you want to put this one in, right, and then you can tighten it down. Okay, and we're going to follow through the same thing with the center one. We're going to keep this around. We're going to take it. We're actually going to pull out where center line is, so we're nice and flush on this end. And we just want to make sure we're nice and even here. Okay, sometimes it does take a little bit to play with it, just to get it nice and even. So that looks pretty good. Okay, we do have a bit of a knot here, so I suggest in a case like this, when you have a knot, try to keep it as far away from the knot, because sometimes the knot will cause a lot of cracking. So again, I'm trying to keep everything in the center line and pretty far from the knot. Okay, so I'll just put this right here. And again, same thing. This one, want to verify, make sure everything's nice and straight and square. Okay, this one I'm going to move a little bit before we tighten it down. Okay, nice and flat. Okay, and our last one, same thing. We're going to put our square edge right up against the line so it's nice and flush to the line. And we make sure that our base is nice and square. And, okay, great. So we're going to pre-drill it again. Alright. And again, we're going to take it. Just making sure it's nice and square. Great. Now, as I mentioned before, you want to leave those little tiny pieces of wood around for you. It will help you out. Now, because now I'll show you why. Okay, so we grab our piece of board, and now we're actually going to use this piece of wood widthwise. We're going to use it as a spacer. Okay, so just making sure it's nice. And in order for us to get a really nice even line, also we can use a square or just a straight edge. Once you put it down, you can take it and just making sure it's nice and square. If you have a large framing square or big square, you can use that as well. Actually, at this point I have a really old framing square that I had for ages. And that's what I will be using here today. Just make sure it's nice and even. All I'm going to do is just basically take it and push it right up against so it's nice and square. Push it down here. Okay. And we're going to pre-drill it and put this first set of screws in. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pre-drill it. There you go. Now, and you follow it through. We'll take the spacer and we can put it back here. So now sometimes there are cases when a piece of wood is a little bit bowed, because wood does like to move when it's drying out. So in this case we're just going to do step method. So each leg we're going to set up a spacer, and the back leg we'll have to do a slight push out so the wood will be nice and straight and you have a nice and even gap. So, and you see at this point it's a little bit too wide, so what we're going to do, we're actually going to slightly push right in the end, right, and it will fall right in. And that's what we use for our space. And as I mentioned before, there's a nasty little nut. I'm actually going to stay as far away as possible from it, because unfortunately I wasn't able to avoid it. So we're just going to put it about right here. Because the wood grain structure is actually likes to go different ways when there's a knot, and sometimes that does cause splitting. And I'm just not going to drive it as far as the rest of them. Now just take our spacers and repeat it for the last one. Alright. Here we go. This is actually our nice big bench. It's actually really sturdy, and a nice coat of paint or polyurethane will keep it longer lasting. It's a really strong, really sturdy little bench, so you can put even those big 30-inch pots on here and will definitely hold it. And again, thank you for taking your time through watching through this video. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And more building videos will be following up. And hope you guys see you soon. All right, bye.